Okay, slightly different intro today, people. We're actually on the CG generated maps, and two reasons. First is a big thank you to everyone as we've gone past 1,000 views, and the second is, out of that, the first video we ever did, which was awful on sound and everything, as it was my first ever video, was on the CG generated maps. So we're going to go back, have a look at that, and have a little look at Primitive Plus as well, as it doesn't get the love. So thank you to everyone. Hope you enjoyed the episode, and I hope you keep watching. Okay, we're in, and in case any of you hadn't noticed, by the Primitive Plus, we're not going to be on to the server today. This is actually a video I'm doing as we hit 1,000 views, so thank you to everyone that's watched bits. But out of that 1,000 views as well, and the over 40 videos by now, the one that's got the most views was the original, which was the procedural arcs. And as we can see here, I've got the centre, and I've got Ragnarok, we've got Drake's World, High Alps, Island Coves, and many islands. And I've just deleted off one so we can show you how we make them. So you go into procedural arcs, and you get all of these options. Map seed, no idea. Slopes, I'm guessing that's the incline, but no idea what you've got to write for what. Heights, radius, blah 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 blah. Basically there's lots and lots of choices you can go through, and you can tweak them. You can just go onto this and you can choose all your own. You could go onto here and let's for instance choose redwood. That'll change them all, so you can tweak all of these and then save it as your own arc name. At the moment I'm not going to create one of these because they take a long time to load in. About 10 minutes the first time. After that they're not too bad. What we're going to do is we're going to go on to one that I've got called Island Coves, which is already on my list right here. We're going to go for play single player, and then we're going to load in, which, yeah, I mean, I'm going to leave it this time around for the simple fact of it shows you how long it takes. I've literally just been on this a couple of minutes ago, so it's a big difference from if you've loaded the map in the first time. And as it is, if you load it in on standard mode and then load it in on Primitive Plus, it normally loads it from a cache, which it should come up in that bottom left corner in a moment to tell you that. But yeah, why have I come back to these? Well, I really enjoy them. They're not big maps, they're not game maps really, story maps or anything. You're not really going to be going around and trying to complete the map, because apart from drops, that's all you get. You don't get bosses on these, you don't get caves on these. Only other thing you can do is reach level 100 or more, of course, if you've already ascended. But they are beautiful places to build, and hence why also we've gone into Primitive Plus, because Primitive Plus does have some of the most beautiful building materials in Ark. Sadly, a lot of them haven't actually been fixed. This is down to, I found out from Jay Plays Games, that the chap that actually was creating the Primitive Plus mod that they put on, Wildcard actually then proceeded to hire him and put him onto other things, and so he's never finished it. There was meant to be a lot in Primitive Plus. There was meant to be different professions that you could have. I mean, there's so many things you can already grow, make. There's different parts that you won't find in the normal game. There's different variations of weapons, like a bow or a recurve bow or a longbow. There's normal arrows, feathered arrows, obsidian arrows, etc, etc. You can collect different bits of meat, like rib and such, that you can cook up. You can make pancakes. You've got cigarettes in it. There's so much included that frankly it's really heartbreaking that they didn't finish it. And there in the bottom left at the moment, as you can see, it is saying loading it from the cache. So there we go, we're in. Now obviously that does take a lot longer than a normal. This wasn't the one that I was thinking of, Island Coves. Okay, well, this is actually another one that I've been on, and I think I was meant to be going to many islands, sorry, but this is one I actually started off with Becky when we decided that we're going to do the showcase of all the maps. Let me just check my cameras down, because I was actually at night time on the last map. No, it's not. Good to know. Well, it looks like we're coming into sunset here. So Yeah, we are. It's 9 something. But here we go. We can give you a quick look round before it gets too dark. And this is where we've started. I'm going to take the HUD off just to show you. Obviously we all know I'm in creative mode, so it's not like I'm trying to hide anything. But yeah, the buildings. This building is now in complete darkness. Wonderful. So all we're going to do for now is just make ourselves a torch. We can find one. Somewhere in here. Somewhere. Anywhere. Thank you. Although where it's going to come in this lot, because I've managed to collect so much junk, is anyone's guess. There we go. So, first place. First off, here's our map of the world we're in. We are there, basically 8060, which is great because where the map's so big it doesn't actually show you where 8060 is, but it's about down there somewhere, I'm guessing. Yeah, look at us, we're right there. So, interesting. But no, all the different bits you can get. I mean, we've got an alchemy table here, which is actually pretty much an advanced mortar and pestle. You can make up to 60 things in it, so that's quite nice. That's pretty much replacing the chemistry bench. We've got a cooking station here where we can make all of these things. Flour, See, and now you can just see from here, soy milk, cane sugar, dodo eggs, sacks of flour, salt. I mean, none of that would you get in a normal map. Yes, you get salt in Ragnarok and Scorched Earth and such, but you wouldn't get it on the island, whereas with this, you would. Cove Hotel here. Come in, we've got some nice little fermenting barrels. And yes, these are different from the barrels that you get in the normal game. You get these fantastic little wood Tudor bar things, I believe they're called. You can get an L-shaped one or a straight one. We go up to the next floor. We're up. You get hammocks, these nice little funky storage boxes, the shelving. I mean, you know, oh, sorry, how could I forget? The lanterns. Modular table, I'm not sure why that one's modular, but that's what they call it. I don't seem to be able to change the size or anything. Beds, back to another alchemy table. You get this, glass roofs. I mean, if we now, look, you can fall asleep with a view of the sky. So how cool is that, eh? Now, chuck our torch back on. I'm going to come out of here and go to the last one, which I can't even remember what the last one is. Oh yes, of course I can actually. It is Ye Old Smithy. Now these, as well. Of course, first off we get the dinghies. Absolutely gorgeous. Next off you get these bits, which are pontoons, that you can actually just build out into the water. And just keep going, they'll snap one to another. Here is our old smithy. You get weapon racks, which, just for a second to show you, if I take everything off of it, it's empty. If you've got stuff in it, it shows it. It doesn't show exactly what it is, to be clear, but it's a nice little addition. We now have, in here, candles that basically seem to do naff all. Good to know. Okay, I was expecting a bit more light off of them. So a bar. No way, look, we've even got a drip tray for the pints and everything. How fantastic is that? Wall storage. We've got the barrels that we've already seen. These, I really like the lumber windows. They just look something a bit more special. This here is our advanced workbench, which, from what I can see, is pretty much a workbench. Sorry, a smithy, but you can make a few more bits in it. I'm wondering if this is what they brought in, maybe, to let you do the hazard suits and such. Yeah, interesting. You get an industrial cooker there, which is basically like the two twin bits, and you get an industrial forge there. Now, here is our smithy, I do believe. Yeah. So if we look in there, yeah, we've got a lot more limited stuff. The advanced workbench basically replaces the fabricator, because of course on this we don't have a fabricator. We'll come round. I don't think we've got anything at the back here. We're not going to see it anyway if I keep jumping in the water and lose my torch. course, how did I forget? We actually had a second floor to this. The only problem is, this is brick ceilings, that's a stone hatch frame. They don't do the hatch frames in the brick or the lumber, which is a bit of a shame, but there we go. This is the equivalent of the industrial forge. Here we've got a sharpening stone, which you need to make things like this. And then, of course, as you can see there, we've got leather, which is because you need to put your hide on a rack to turn it into leather. I believe it's with salt, I'm not 100% sure. And if we just head over this way, this one over here is what Becky started building up. Now, none of this is fancy, of course. It was literally, we spent half an hour or something starting doing places and playing about with what we were actually able to get. But as you can see, you know, the pieces you can get do look really nice. And don't forget, of course, I believe we can still paint these. I'm not sure actually. Let's grab a paintbrush quickly and see if we can, shall we? I haven't got any dyes or anything on me, but we can at least slap that wall. Now is that because I've got no dyes? Right, we'll try this again. Paint walls. We can have region 1 or region 2. So for instance, you can paint that colour. And then of course if we do this right, we can paint this any colour we wanted. So we've got the black bits there. And let's say for instance, how about a red wall, eh? There we go. And now of course we can't see it because we don't have the torch out. But there you go. Wow, that's bright. Now, as I said, there's so many bits to do on this. And this is just one of the maps. If you give me a second, what I will do is I will jump off and jump back on again to the map that I actually meant to jump onto. As I said, I believe this one's called Island Coves, and I believe the one we're wanting to go to is Many Islands. Just because I built a little bit more on there. None of it's finished, but as I said, it's more showcase. Becky logged off, so we couldn't resist dropping her in a cage. Anyway, see you on that map then. And welcome back. We're on another of the procedurally generated maps at the moment, called Many Islands. And to be honest, so far I think this is one of my favourites. We can't see much at the moment, sorry, because of the fog. But you're going to kind of get the idea. I mean, if we look at it, lots of islands, lots of trees. Not even 100% sure there's any snow on this one, actually. But that's not a bad thing, as on the procedurally generated maps, the snow, it can be a bit iffy, let's put it that way. There's normally a perfectly clear line where the snow biome ends and where the rest of it carries on. But, you know, for the sake of getting some more maps, we don't have to pay anything for these. We can tweak them when we want ourselves. We can make mountains bigger, forest denser, etc, etc. Then it's really not a bad thing. Now I will apologise, but of course, just that perfect timing, we're actually on with fog at the moment, which of course always makes everything delightful. But if we just head down this way a bit, I mean, you can even see there are dinosaurs on it, and to be fair, normally as these are slightly smaller than the normal maps, they're normally quite heavily populated in comparison, as I think they've still got the same amount of dinos that a normal map would have, but in a lot smaller space. For instance, this little lake here, which is, wow, that's bright. Let's turn the gamma down a little bit more. Not that it's going to help because this is dark, but there we go. And I brought you over to show you this one for the simple fact of this is the one that I have started, to be clear, building on. I haven't done a large amount, but as I said, with just how this one looks, it's just so beautiful. I mean, who could resist? You know, to me, I've always imagined this would be a brilliant map to maybe do as a server and do some sort of pirate war Maybe call it Atlas. Yeah, anyway. Right. We're getting back. Unless I'm mistaken, yep. We actually have a lead sink right here in our waters. But more importantly, if we come over this last bit, then as you can probably see rendering in slowly, if you can keep your eyes out of that bright sunlight, here is the place we have so far. Now, it's not the most spectacular. We've actually got ourselves some yurts up the top, and one of those actually has reasons for having all the yurts around it. The other one's just because of the looks. We have ourselves a little bakery down here. We have ourselves the port here. As I said, there's still a lot more to do, but just the potential. This burnt out hole here was kind of where I started tweaking and playing about with what different bits I could use, and then I proceeded to blow it up with many barrels of gunpowder. Although for the record, this large steel boxes are an absolute pig to try and destroy. But here's our first bit. Sorry if you can hear the dog snoring there. It's a hard life for him. We've got our greenhouse. Obviously it'd have to have water up. And we've put the nice little labels so we could say what was in each. Because of course in Scorched Earth you get a lot more... Scorched Earth? Sorry, in that Primitive Plus you get a lot more than just the normal berries and all that. You can actually make coffee, pizza dough, flour, etc, etc. And here is the map of how it looks. There's ours of how it looks. So apparently we're on the corner of my map, right about there, in the top right corner where it's showing on my handheld map on the big map. But yeah, I mean, the amount of stuff you can get on here is absolutely gorgeous. Look at the yurts, for instance, by themselves. Oh, if I can get off the stairs again, it's never a good sign, is it? No. So here's the yurts. Huh. We actually have something stuck inside one of the yurts. That's a added bonus that I didn't even think of. So we've got the yurts. We're going to come down over here. And we have ourselves our bakery, which of course you can walk straight onto the dining area from the top. Lovely views, let's face it, lovely. A couple of candles burning for that romanticness. Here we've got our industrial grill, our baker's oven, alchemy table. Now the alchemy table is basically the chemistry bench, but in Primitive Plus. Some empty barrels, which I believe we can use for storage. Yep. Only 18, though, it's not much, but they look nice. Got some fermenting barrels, which do work, I believe, differently from the ones on the normal game. Here is our cooking station, where we can make things like the tomato sauce for pizzas, and icing, cake batter, pancake batter, biscuit batter, cookie dough, you know, there's loads of stuff. Nice little grill here, hand mill, which basically works like the mortar and pestle. Of course you can still get the mortar and pestle, but these things do it more. If we come down here, then we've got ourselves a nice little area with a nice little Tudor bar to keep it separated, some more storage. These windows, which I absolutely love. Sadly, they haven't quite perfected the bit of having to duck to get through doors, and they seem to have completely ignored that on Primitive Plus. It seems to be worse than the normal game somehow. If we put the HUD on, boom, 860 Ocean Drive, and it names it by itself. Now, of course, you can name your own. There we go, change address and send mail. I'm not sure if that works though, and we have no one to send mail to. Boo-hoo. I'm so lonely. But we're not going to bother. So, we're going to come down here. We've got ourselves water tower this side, a couple of braziers, however you want to pronounce it, I'm still not even sure, to be honest. More barrels, nice little storage bit. So we've got an advanced workbench which replaces the fabricator. I believe this was the sort of thing they brought in for like aberration and that, so you can still make your biohazard suits. There we go, and there's our industrial forge and our alchemy bench. Industrial cooker, I do believe, which replaces the double barrel thing. We've got a nice little dinghies here, which I really do like the looks of the dinghies. But no. So, as I said, this is a quick video just to say thank you to everyone for watching so much. And hope you enjoy it, more importantly. Hope you carry on watching. And we'll probably be spending a bit of time on this in between the other maps, of course. We are still going to finish Aberration. We will eventually finish the island, but we're not in any rush because everyone knows how the island ends. US end. Yippee. Spoilers. But, yeah, I think we'll be coming back to a few of these PG maps to maybe have a tweak on the settings, see how easy it is to adjust them, and things like buildings like this. Now, as I said, these yurts were here as well for a reason, and that is because this redwood tree is slightly thinner, so these don't go in all the way. But put a yurt over them, it kind of looks like it should be there, and nobody would ever know. But no, as I said then, people, thanks for watching everything. Thanks for putting up with me, and my ums and ahs, and iffy audio at times and such. It is something I still am learning as I go, and thanks to SHAREfactory constantly changing things as well. It seems that I'm going one step forward, two steps back at the moment. Hence why the last two videos had no thumbnails on them, because for some reason between SHAREfactory and YouTube they decided not to put them on. But no, I hope you carry on watching. I hope you get some enjoyment out of all of this. I hope some of you find some bits that you hadn't realised before. Like these PG maps, honestly. They're small. They take a long time to load in at first, but after that, they're not that bad. They load in quite quickly unless you've loaded all 4 or 5 extras that you can download. And then if you go back to the first one, it starts from scratch again loading in. But you do keep your stuff. Of course, you also get them on Primitive Plus, and you can have them on the normal settings as well instead of Primitive Plus, and then it'll be 2 separate maps that you can use. So, you know, we're all sat here waiting for extinction, and yet we all have at least another 4 maps that we can use on Primitive Plus and on normal settings. So, you know, I'm going to let you lot go now though. And I think I'm going to crack on and do a bit more of this so we can bring you back another time and have a nice little village here. Oh, the one thing we forgot to show you. A lovely little mine here. Now, of course, our mine isn't actually a mine. It just goes into the wall. But it looks nice. And that's the whole reason we're here. We're not here to make things that are practical and all that. We're here to make things that look good. There's our industrial forge. We've got our little miner's boxes to keep stuff in. We've got, this is the steel locker that replaces the vault, and they are godly, basically. Nice little steel safe. Oh, hang on, that one's a steel safe that takes 350, and that one's a steel locker that takes 350. But that's 17,500, 7,500. So that's twice as strong. There we go, lesson learned. Anyway then, I'm going to head our way back to the harbour here, and then we will leave you there, people, as we can't really sail off into the sunset. We've kind of naffed that up. It's the wrong time of day. But we can get on our boat, like so. Go for the orbit camera, like so.